I thought the UK was screwed with Keir Starmer, but the more information that's coming out across all of EU is making me wonder, all these people are just in bed with each other with their ideology pushing to silence people. Mario Narfal, Macron, free speech is pure BS. If nobody knows how you are guided through this so-called free speech, especially when it is guided from one hated speech to another hated speech, well, the masks are off. So now we have someone trying to claim that you aren't allowed to have free speech because your free speech is actually hate, and your hate is not acceptable. Wow, that sounds an awful lot like actual Nazi Germany.
Because, I mean, free speech is a pure bullshit if nobody knows how you are guided through this so-called free speech, especially when it's to be guided from one hated speech to another hated speech.
So I just call this guy on his bullshit right now and say, sir, my argument to you is I feel like what you're saying right now, to me, it hurts my feelings how you are talking to the point of I feel like you hate me because it disagrees with my ideology so much that I feel like what you're saying is hate speech. Now, his argument is it's not. It's like, well, shit, of course it's not. There is no hate speech. That's not a thing. It's what you use to qualify what people are saying and then silence them.
I just want to have a transparent road through these different speeches, and I want, by the way, to have a sort of public order. I want to avoid racist speech, hated speech, and so on.
This quote tweeting Elon Musk says, this is what authorities in France should be focused on. If there was ever a reason to reintroduce the guillotine, this is it. 10 men charged over of a drugged boy at Kent's party in France. Wow, that is a way to put words together. Holy crap. And this is classic because French response says, how convenient to cut the quote right before president calls explicitly for platform transparency, which gets quote tweeted by Reclaim the Net saying, the full quote doesn't make it any better, which is very true. And this is what I say. Everything Macron says is hate speech. Hate speech is speech you disagree with. There's no such thing as hate speech. That is a lefty lunatic agenda item to be able to silence opposition. Preston Byrne, European politicians just keep escalating and escalating and escalating with the censorship. They do this because America hasn't responded yet. We must respond. Quote tweeting Disclosed TV. New. Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz, a BlackRock chairman, wants to end anonymity on the internet. I want to see real names. What? Chancellor Friedrich Merz wants to end the widespread anonymity on the internet. I want to see real names on the internet. I want to know who is speaking out, Merz said on Wednesday evening at their Rhineland-Palatinate CDU's political Ash Wednesday event in Trier. In politics, we engage in debates in our society using our real names and with complete transparency. Therefore, I expect the same from everyone else who critically examines our country and our society. These people that you want transparency from are not the ones enacting the laws, good sir. The whole reason why people need to know who you are is because you guys are the ones enforcing policy. People on the internet could be just shit talking. If you want to unmask people on the internet, that means you want to find out who they are, what they're saying, and hold them accountable for it if you don't like what they're saying. That's pretty scary. Rosenberg continues, says, this is literally just a worldwide program to de-anonymize and dox everyone who uses social media. They realize the content mandates aren't putting the genie back in the bottle, so they're going to just dox everyone and start making arrests. Quote tweeting DW News, Germany has joined the growing list of EU nations that are considering banning children from social media. Funny how it works. Remember, by the way, I hate to say I called it, but remember when I said once this slippery slope starts, it will not stop and you cannot put the genie back in the bottle? Australia has banned youth from social media since December, and its example has lessons for EU governments. Oh, and you know what other lessons it has for? Canada, United States. Sure, why not the whole world? Lessons. Give me a break. Retard Finder, retard quote of the day. Free speech is pure bullshit. Emmanuel Macron, Bardark, you are bullshit. Quote tweeting Polymarket. Just in, French President Macron calls free speech bullshit unless the government is able to moderate it. So you guys want to know what moderating free speech sounds like? Here's Tommy Robinson. Keir Starmer's regime is to delete archives revealing the horrific extent of Muslim rape gangs tomorrow. Court archive revealing extent of grooming gangs scandal to be deleted. Wow. How about that free speech, guys? Apparently the government's allowed to do whatever they'd like to do. Inevitable West. Breaking. The court archives revealing the extent of the grooming gang scandal will be deleted per Telegraph. They are literally trying to erase Britain's biggest scandal to hide their crimes. This cannot be allowed to happen. But notice how they're trying to shift the blame over the EU and over in that area, be like, oh, it's hate speech if you disagree with what the government is trying to talk about. Let's show this hate speech. Kiridis says, Syrians versus Kurds in Bradford. We're seeing more and more of these mass brawls on our streets between the two factions. This one was allegedly organized beforehand. Foreign turf wars on UK streets.
You want to know who you hit?
This is the absolute state of the UK right now.
Kick him.
I mean, this looks like...
Bro, you know what it is? You want to know who you're hitting, man? It's hard.
You don't know who you're hitting. People just running into the crowd, just throwing punches. There needs to be serious change because, my goodness, American AF says, holy shit, the UK is unrecognizable at this point. Here we go. Ah, yes. Would you like some crumpets and tea with that, sir? I am just like in awe the more I cover this. Amelia responding, the reality of multiculturalism, a failed ideology that has made us poorer, less safe, and turned our streets into battlegrounds for every interethnic and religious conflict in the world. Enough. And here's Amelia saying, love your country ain't racist. It's normal.
Loving your country ain't racist. It's normal. Fly the flag high and don't apologize for it. The government's more worried about being nice than protecting our culture and history. Time to put England first again.
Based as always. And you know what? Change is happening. Change with Rupert Lowe may just be what the UK ordered. Basil Great. Rupert Lowe says he speaks with Elon Musk a lot. He's very supportive of us. Elon is a patriot. Let's see.
You have already received on social media the very significant support of Elon Musk. He says he's the man. Rupert Lowe, vote for him. Have you spoken to Elon?
We communicate with Elon. I haven't actually physically spoken to him, but we communicate with him quite a lot across the X platform. And he's been very supportive. He's very supportive of what we've done on the rape gang inquiry, which I have to tell you was two of the most harrowing weeks of my life.
No, I saw it, yeah.
But I've heard stories that I just couldn't believe, and we will be writing a huge report. And our intention is to pursue private prosecutions of those people who should have been brought to book.
Isn't it interesting, by the way, speaking of the rape gang inquiry, the court archive revealing extent of grooming gang scandal to be deleted. HM courts and tribunal service accusations, the service of unauthorized sharing of data. The critics say vital evidence will be lost forever. Kind of almost like Keir Starmer and company are trying to cover their tracks because they know they done fucked up. And if this gets exposed, they'd be prosecuted and actually put in jail if consequences ever happen. But the Restore Britain party is moving quickly. The other day I covered how it had 50,000 members and then 60,000 members. And now a day later, it's at 70,000 members. No one has heard of Rupert Lowe, in quotes. This is day 5, by the way. 70,000 members of Restore Britain. I got to be honest, guys. The way that this has picked up speed online and the people watching the videos, retweeting it, talking about it, Asmund Gold covering it, Rupert Lowe following Asmund Gold saying he wants Rupert Lowe on his stream. There's a lot of people that are waking up to what's happening right now. And I would argue there's a lot of people that are currently in power in the UK and nay, all of the EU in total that do not want to see this happen. Because this, if Restore Britain does happen, it's going to send a massive ripple effect through the rest of the EU with people like this fucker right here that's saying this kind of shit. This is insane. There is a digital war brewing right now. It is a power grab the people that want to silence you compared to the people that want to fight for your rights to be able to say what you want to say. I think it's pretty safe to say what side I would want to fall on over there. And I would think most people that are logical would also agree with that. But you'd be surprised at how many NPCs are in this world that just say, govern me harder, daddy. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. But my heart is with the UK. I think big inroads are being made. But my goodness, this Macron saying free speech is bullshit is saying that, telling me that there's a lot of work still to be done over there. Keir Starmer knows that some MP are involved in this grooming scandal and try to cover up everything. Yep. Like, why else would you be deleting the records? Like, think about that for a second. And why so quickly? Right after the grooming gang scandal broke and investigated, like a week after that, you want to be like, let's delete all these records now for your safety. Yeah, for your safety.